were talking about this movie. It's new on Netflix. It's their number one trending movie. The Woman in the Window. Mm-hmm. Amy Adams is in it.
Right.
Julianne Moore.
Yes. A friend of mine, we were on White Boy Weekend, and he called his wife. She's also a good friend, and she said she had just watched it and really liked it. So I was recommending it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it was pretty good.
That's your standard line now. Mm-hmm. Friend of mine's wife says it's very good. I recommend.
That's right. And I do that. I recommended. And Chris Demm said, well, the woman in the window has agoraphobia. And I said, I don't know what that is.
Sneezes a lot.
I don't know what that is.
Is that from sweaters?
I said, you guys, she has agoraphobia.
And I said, that's right.
But she does.
I don't know.
Neither do I.
Neither.
That means she's afraid to go outside, so whatever she sees, she can only see from
the window.
Okay. So I'm sure she sees a crime or something.
Probably witnesses a murder.
Well, I watched the preview, or the trailer, I guess you would say, and it's like she sees this family across the street. Well, one by one, each family member comes to her door, and she's a psychologist, I guess.
Ah.
Yes.
And, at first it's the little boy, and she's like, are you in trouble? And he's like, I can't talk to you. And then the mom comes over like, did my son come out? And I guess each person sits down with her.
And
then the father, the father comes and he's like, was my wife and child here?
Oh, I see. Interesting. That's
interesting concept.
Of course, there's Rear Window, which is a phenomenal Hitchcock picture.
He may have witnessed a murder,
right? And then there's that great old Steve Gutenberg film,
3 Men and a Baby.
No.
Man, I haven't thought of that movie in years.
Police Academy?
No.
3 Men and a Little Lady?
No.
Look Who's Talking?
No. I don't know the name of
Cocoon.
it. I don't.
I mean, the Goot only has
Cocoon
a limited...
too.
Short Circuit. I don't know the name of the movie, and I mentioned it many years ago on this air. But I rented it one night. It's a pretty good movie. He's going out with a woman, and she's cheating on her husband. One of them's having an affair. Maybe they both are. And she witnesses a murder from his window, but she's not supposed to be there because they're having an affair. Mm-hmm. So he pretends he saw the murder, but he really didn't. She saw it. He was across the room. He was in another room. She saw the murder and told him what she saw, and then he pretended he was by himself. But it all unravels in court. Fantastic movie. I'll never be able to remember the name. I will not know the name of that movie. Google Steve Gutenberg.
Maybe there's a P1 that knows it.
Please.
If you
You'll be the only one today in America.
Now, if you Google Steve Gutenberg, it'll tell you the name of that
Even
film.
I wonder if our movie expert, media guy Craig, can come up with this title.
With that title, he'd probably know it. Because it
probably does.
I rented it, I'd say, mid to late 80s and watched it. And it's a good movie. Nobody's ever heard of it. I mean, when I bring it up, no one has ever heard of this movie. But media guy Craig would.
Anybody else famous in it?
I don't remember anything except Steve Gutenberg. I don't know who the other woman
he's
is.
on the screen. You forget everybody else.
That's right.
Well, the Goot in the 80s, I mean, he was at the height.
Media guy Craig's on the line. Don't know it. Media guy Craig, do you know it?
It is, yeah, it's The Bedroom Window from 1987.
All right, Bedroom.
And one of the interesting facts about it, it was shot here in Wilmington.
Get out.
Really?
Okay, so you know about that. You love the Goot?
Yeah, I'm absolutely a big Gutenberg fan. I've even seen things like Don't Tell Her It's Me, that weird one he did with Shelley Long.
Okay. Well, you get Gutenberg.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
Gutenberg and Long in a movie?
Wow.
Everybody's a Gutenberger in here.
Did you like Bedroom Window?
I did, yeah. It was actually a pretty good little movie. Kind of a rear window, mistaken ID, ID, no way out thing.
Pretty good. It really is. Is the woman famous who's in the movie?
I'm racking my brain trying to remember who it was.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember.
I don't think she's famous.
Elizabeth McGovern.
Oh, all right.
Well, she's had.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Well, why didn't you say that earlier, Biggie? My God. So Biggie,
Google the Goot.
The only person to Google the Goot.
He was fresh off of Short Circuit.
Yes, and he
Fine picture.
Did a nice turn in that.
Short Circuit.
Thank you, media guy Craig.
Ali Sheedy.
Yes, Ali Sheedy and a little robot guy.
Yeah, and that song.
All that one too. Do you know what the number one Googled thing is, by the way, all time? The folks from Google have for the last 15 years, they have been taking data of what's the most Googled thing, and the most Googled thing all time. It's a question.
What is or how to?
Mm-hmm. It starts with what. In fact, these are the most Googled. They said they're the most Googled things all time, and they're the first five are questions.
What is the weather?
What time is it? Is the most Googled thing of all time.
Be absolutely S-ing me.
Yeah.
If you have access to a Google machine with Google on it,
the time.
look in the corner.
Well, I mean, I know I used to call the telephone line all the time when I was a kid.
I did too.
Oh, my grandfather was obsessed with the time and the weather.
I used to
Calling all the time.
Well, yeah.
691 time.
Is that what
I
you
get
know?
that.
We used to do that constantly.
Yeah. What time is it? Hang on, I want to call.
And it would give us the time and the
It used to be plot devices in movies when you had to do a fake call to,
time and temperature.
you had to make somebody think you're calling them. Yeah, sorry, I can't make it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a time,
The time
and temperature.
is.
That's right. Yeah. We used to do that all the time too. We had clocks in our house.
Yeah, but sometimes you want to be perfect.
Yes, get it exactly
It
right.
was never on, and the clock was never on the television.
That's right. It never was. The other thing is, what time is it? It's the number one most Googled thing over the last 15 years, followed by how do I tie a tie, which I can see that being. Now that is something.
Absolutely.
In a very casual world, I get it.
Mm-hmm. How do I kiss?
I was going to say, is anything
Mm-hmm.
sexual or semi-sexual on there?
How do I kiss? I've Googled how to give women more pleasure.
What came up?
Google just threw up.
I did. How do I pleasure my woman better?
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
No. Google calls me.
You got to. There's just a picture of you.
Break up with her. That's rude.
Give her this number. It's Dave's
We'll
phone
leave her
number.
in the dust.
I have Googled that.
Introduce her to this guy.
Yeah.
Introduce her to Steve Gutenberg.
I shouldn't have gotten all into that, but I have Googled that a few times. How can I pleasure my woman better? Mm-hmm. And it gives you some tips, some
Do the alphabet.
That's one.
That's always like to me like the first thing you hear.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Put your ding dong ring on.
And you can't if you've tried it. You really can't focus.
No.
You're like,
Well, you don't sound it out. Dope. You don't sound it out.
Don't sing it for F's sake.
V.
A, B, C. I'm losing my concentration here.
And if you make it to Z,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because you get up around K or whatever.
Well,
you get a cramp.
You get real fast to LMNOP. LMNOP.
That alphabet thing's big. That's like the number one.
Oh, that's the first thing I heard. Yeah.
That's big. That's huge. And there's like, here's where this is and here's where that is, so you can figure it out. And the last one is, this is the most Googled thing the last 15 years. What time is it? How do I tie a tie? How can I kiss better? Where am I? Is the last one. Where it just, I don't know.
Where am I?
Yeah. We had a woman here one time. God, Kristen will know this. This was before y'all came here.
Is
But
this the phone paging
Yes.
incident?
we had a phone paging thing.
You could page the whole building from anywhere.
Yes. And so the woman gets on the line and she says, like, let's just pretend she was paging you, Dave. She went, Dave, can you call me? I don't know where I am.
All throughout the building.
All building. We were like, what?